The time here in SVG is 11 o'clock, and it's now time for our Shakeup program. Psalm 37 and verse 4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desires." Today's Shakeup program is being hosted by Kingsley Defreitas. Remember that Shakeup is an interactive program, and you can call 457-9997. That's on WhatsApp or through the direct line if you wish to be a part of the program. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube. I will now turn you over to today's host, Kingsley Defreitas.
Yeah, special good morning to you, wherever you are. A special good morning to you, wherever WEFM is being heard. Don't forget, as my friend said, it's an interactive program, and don't wait until 5 minutes to 12 to call me and tell me. Call 457-9997 as soon as you are prepared to. Let me say a special good morning to one listener. They tell us we don't have listeners, we have listener as a singer, and I'm referring to Miss Harold. Good to know that you're listening, Miss Harold and Mr. Peters, and whoever else is listening to the Clean Fresh song. We really appreciate you in our listening audience. Well, here what happened. I listened to the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, former Prime Minister, and I use the word former Prime Minister deliberately, because whenever Ralph Gonsalves speaks, he speaks with a high level of experience. And we heard people were making some hue and cry and surprise of persons who sit and now occupy boards or directors' position. Well, I only have one that I'm interested in, and the few persons that I could tell you who they are, and we're not going to dwell on the negative, okay? We're going to try and make it as possible, because as Ralph Gonsalves said recently, boards and members of boards are important, and not every board has a handsome reward. But he said that the boards should be in place to make sure the governance of the countries are properly orchestrated by the policies put together by the elected parliamentarian. So, you know that the international airport was conceived by Ralph Gonsalves. We heard former Prime Minister Sojourner Mitchell DC said that he had the money in his back pocket. Up to now, I don't know where that money gone. Then Jerry George DC threw a lifeline to Anna Eustace. He said to him, the monies are important. Mr. Eustace said, find it where? There's no such money to be able. And Dr. Gonsalves came with this plan and conceived the airport in the most trying economic times, and the airport is there. And currently, the CEO of the airport is Miss Grace. She is a qualified technician and electrician, but for some reason, the board of directors then seemed to put her to act, and they confirm her as the Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport in Argyle. And, you know, as Dr. Gonsalves said recently, when you have a change of government, you have a change of policy and a change of managing directors. And the chairperson of the board of directors currently is Mr. Hathaway. By profession, he works as a meteorologist for quite some time. And the Terence Oliver, Minister of Airport, and Prime Minister Dr. Gordon Friday thinks that he has the ability to chair the board of directors. If I know him, I met him, I can't remember if he met me at the airport in 1982 or came in soon after. And then we have the deputy director who once served as airport manager, Mr. Oliver. Oliver is from Beckwith, and he has quite a bit of experience because he worked Metaface, worked himself right up as far as the deputy director, and then he became the CEO, acting for some time at International Airport. Then we have Mr. Boye. Yeah, Keith Boye, a businessman extraordinary. He's also on the board of directors. And then we have Samantha Robertson. You hear Samantha Robertson is one of those lawyers from a whole bunch of family. She is the lawyer. And we have Artis Davis, former superintendent of police. I don't know what qualified him to be a board member, but I heard the elected parliamentarian, Mr. John, said that he have to give Artis Davis a whole heap of big up for taking him and making him an elected parliamentarian. So that must be some reward for Mr. Artis Davis. Then we had Jerry Cordis. Jerry Cordis, Dr. Cordis' son, yeah, that's Jerry Marine. He flies for mostly areas and SVEG air for quite some time. So he is a pilot by profession and have to have some level of airport and its function. Then we have Jerry Howard. Jerry Howard worked with Liat for quite some time and gathered some experience. And he's one of the persons who were on the Liat staff. And I'm not sure if they had received any compensation for the time they work with Liat. And then we have Lolly. Yeah, Lolly from Lolly Fishing. Yeah, he's still on the board. Because I don't want to create a controversy, I will just say, I wonder what he brings to the table. The new directors and the new members of board decided to see if they could continue with him. And then we have Dr. Lewis, not Linton Lewis, Vaughan Lewis. And that name sound familiar? Just to name a few persons who are currently sitting at the board of directors at International Airport. My expectation is that they will use their experiences to combine various policies to put in place to let the CEO, Ms. Grace, know what is expected of her as manager of the airport. Miss Andrea Best, she is the person in charge of all the airports in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I guess she automatically will sit on the board and they will come up with various policies to make sure that the airport is as viable as possible. But one aspect of the airport, I hope that the experienced Artis Davis let his police instinct pay to us is the security aspect of the airport. Hello, it have places at the airport. I've been by the airport since the airport is operating, and there are places that I never go. You may say, you walking and you don't, no, not because I don't want to, because I'm not allowed to. Because remember, when we had the E.T. Joshua Airport, customs officers and customs guards used to think that they run the airport. The airport is run by the directors and the policies put in place, and we have international agencies who normally come in without informing to pay do some auditing. And when you hear auditing, me ain't talking about adding up money, me talking about adding up information to see if we are functioning properly. And then I'm hoping that Mr. Davis uses police experience, because the first person who stood as chief of security was former Commissioner Keith Miller, and that was the intention of the board of directors there. The person who managed the security aspect is an experienced young lady who's been working at E.T. Joshua for quite some time, Ms. Rogers. I'm not too sure if on paper that she's highly qualified as she ought to be, but experience is important. She's been around for a while, and I know I'm an observer. We're not friends, but I dealt with her on several occasions, and she did let the issue of professionalism came in and deal with my issues. So I think that she's on to something good. So I am just hoping that when the people who come and do audit on the airport and the security, they will see some level of improvement. You know, and one thing I would like to see at the airport is the directors and the persons in charge. See if it would be much more feasible for the airport as an entity to take over the management of the bar at the airport. I'll just leave that right there because the airport have to and should generate some monies to see if they could pay the day-to-day, because let me tell you something, it's over 300 persons employed at the airport. And, I may say 3, but I take it a bit more than 3. But when I'm at the airport on a daily basis, I normally sit at a particular spot between 12 and 12:30. If you see the amount of personnel, young people who are changing their shifts and working different departments at the International Airport of Argyle. So I'm hoping that we will see some improvement. I always make a comment at the airport, and sometimes it offends people because I don't like to see custom officers, custom guards, security guard, and other persons who are working in sensitive area, spending time, intimate time around a bar. They might not be drinking alcohol beverages, but what impression it gives to the onlookers? They have to remind themselves that people come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines because we are a Category 1 airport, and they come to pay attention to the security aspect. I saw a lady at the airport a couple of months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and I said to a very good friend of mine, we just call Rata, I noticed that lady is being taking pictures and she has a notepad. He said to me that she said that she's staying at a leading hotel, but the hotel has an internet problem. I struggle. I said, you believe that? When I spoke to somebody, they said that she is making an assessment on the security and the open environment at the airport. So imagine that, and a senior employee at the airport was led away by, she's saying that she's staying by this leading hotel, but the hotel has a problem with its internet, so she's using the airport internet to do her day-to-day basis. I say, imagine that. But I am hoping to see some improvement at the security. I want to see the security people. Imagine the airport open at 6, approximately 6 o'clock. There are oftentimes police officers from the traffic department. They come about 10. But once the airport open, it has some police officers who come from the neighboring police station close to the airport, and they have to be there. But you know what happened? They find themselves in a security booth and sit from 6 until 10 to 8. No level of mobility and no patrol of the area. And it has traffic police coming when people come to get license. Most often then, we should be providing a license for you, but we don't have any receipt books. You come in to do duty at the airport, an international airport, but you forget the security, the license book. So there is a lot of weaknesses. There is an area at the international airport. You are allowed to come out of that area. But regardless to who you are, if you are a policeman dressed in uniform, you could probably take a chance and go in where you shouldn't go in because you are a police officer. But regardless to if you're a custom officer, quarantine officer, regardless of the department, and you have a occupancy prescribed for you in the arrival area, you're not allowed to go into an area where it is only place for you to come out. Oftentimes that happen. Made several complaints to several persons who held the security, and none of them seem to be paying attention to that aspect. It's not the rules of the Argyle Airport, it's an international regulation that we have to follow. You can't have people come from land side, going straight to the air side, and because they think that they are custom officers, a custom guard, that they should be given the privilege to walk in an area. How do I know that you going back in, you're not taking any merchandise. I'm hoping that we see some improvement there. Well, if you want to pass and the security guard want to be flexible, they should have you screen. If you don't want to screen, you go around to the regular areas, either through the domestic security screening or go up to upstairs where they do that screen of individual who have to enter that sensitive area. And all those are things that I observe, and whenever I make any comparison, pay attention to it. They say, will you be a spy for Comrade? Well, Comrade, Prime Minister. Or will you be a spy for the... No, I'm a concerned Vincent Shen, hoping that we should and apply all the rules of an international airport and what it is. Like I tell you, there are places in the airport is operating for probably 9 years now, that I never go. You think I don't want to? I wish I could go and see what it looks like, but they say I have to have a special ID card from the security aspect. I don't have that. My ID card is just to say, hello, you are a taxi operator. This is your domestic space. It's for that you can go. You can't take many places beside there or into the washroom. And people have to understand regulations are regulations. So I'm hoping that the new board of directors, especially Mr. Artis Davis, who have to have some level of policing background, will insist to the board of directors and the security person, Mr. Rogers, that we need to see a little bit much more tightening up of the security aspect of the international airport at Argyle. If you want to comment on what I just said, the number is 4579997, or you can send us a text or WhatsApp. If it is what we're reading, we will read it. If you don't think it is reader friendly, we will just shoot in the garbage bin, okay? Because we can't entertain any ill disciplinary behavior by people. So, like I say, Mr. Hardaway is a meteorologist by profession. Mr. Oliver from Beckway, he works during the airport most of his life. We have Mr. Boy, Keith Boy, people know of him. Samantha Robertson from a lawyer background. We have Artis Davis from a police officer. Jerry Cordis from a pilot. Yes, when you reach the age of 65, regardless of how fit you are, you have to retire. So he's not retired as a pilot, but he's now sitting on the board of directors at International Airport at Argyle. Then we have Jerry Howard, once worked with Leah for quite some time. And Lolly from Fisheries, he used to be on the board of directors before. He's still there. And Dr. Vaughan Lewis, well, I think that he should be there because of the occupation that he's currently hold. I'm not too sure. I think they have a few more persons who sit there, but I don't know all the names. I hate people talk about the information of board of directors that are being leaked. You call them in league. People of Civil Security should know who sit. Like I hear they say Freddie Finch still sitting on the board of directors. I don't think Freddie Finch should be there, but that's just my opinion. For persons, if you are sitting on board of directors, you have to try to be impartial when deliberating on a policy. Forget about the party you voted or people perceive you to be voted, and try to make sure that that institution function as best as possible to the benefit of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is 40 minutes, 30 seconds after 11 o'clock. You listen to WEFM. Yes, the time is 19 minutes, I meant to say. So let's take a break, play some ad, and come back with your thoughts right there at 4579997.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line with the red and white case, show me what you like. It's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, it's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, with over 60 years experience. boy, the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Luther say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
A storm or hurricane can cause extensive damage and tremendous loss. There can be flooding, landslides, and lightning strikes. Are you protected? What about an earthquake, volcanic eruption, a tsunami, or even a bushfire? Are you protected? Century Insurance protects you, your family, your home, your business. Talk to one of our friendly agents today. Call our Kingstown office at 456-2247 or Beckway 458-3855 or contact our representative, Mr. Jason Sargent, in the Bayshore Mall in Beckway at 454-4260. Call Century Insurance. We can protect you. Century Insurance. Upstairs, the First St. Vincent Bank building in Kingstown.
Are you tired of being tired? Fighting the battle of the bulge? Take a breath of fresh air and embrace a new lease on life. Oxygen Fitness Center is here, located in the Camden Park Industrial Estate in the Green Building, next door to the government printery. Our range of fitness equipment and programs were carefully selected to meet your needs. Take a leap of faith today. Oxygen Fitness Center has the answers to your fitness needs. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram or call us at 457-8333.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interbrand Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
WEFM 99.9, home of quality programming. A source of reliable news and information. Home of legendary voices and music. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound. Visit us online at www.999wefm.com or call 457-9994. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound.
WEFM, the clean fresh sound.
Yeah, welcome back to today's Shakeup program. It's 23 minutes after 11 o'clock. Don't forget, we're going till 12. 457-9997, 532-9997. And to be a part of today's program, you have to dial that number. We spoke briefly about the persons who we have on the current board of directors of the airport, but somebody did send a message and ask, what's my thought on Stephen Joachim's as the chairman of the NIS? We have a caller? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, greetings, Brother Kingsley. Blessed morning to you. Hail up to each and everyone. Your listeners, Bunga Shak here.
Yeah, Bunga.
As usual with your airport, I would agree. Foremost with your security discussion is important for especially international airport. Every fine point, every fine tune, you know.
Yes.
Don't take nothing for granted, and I think in St. Vincent there's too much a friend thing is going on. So principle is foremost and rules and regulations. Okay.
Yes.
I agree with you, you know? Yeah, man. And you don't be presumptuous to say because you're walking out and you insist you want to go there and see there. I know you love to see a lot of areas in the airport you're not seeing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I would like to have an idea what the restaurant looks like upstairs and the arrival area, but they say I can't go there, so I just call it off. I just not going there.
Yeah, I think the restaurant should have been set in I don't know who designed it, but I think it should be in, if you don't have more than one, it would be good. But the area what it's in, I don't know if it's proper or whatever, but that's another thing.
Yeah, but like you said, I can't speak to that because I never went up there to see what it looks like.
Right. You know, I hope maybe one day somebody, due to your concern, maybe just give you a proper tour, and you know.
I guess if I make an arrangement with the security personnel, they will give me an ID and a guided tour. But
yeah,
I just leave it where it is.
Oh yeah. And you don't want to seem to be like a man run your pompous and you know and all. Because because the spirit of inward jealousy that would be there. Something is hard to spot it. Man go skin and grin and say jealousy because you make some too.
Yes.
Yeah. Kingsley, right? I know it's time limit, so let's go in the discussion quickly, about 2 minutes or so. About the discussion what we have in last week towards God decide to follow it up and did a little investigation in a matter. Towards with the children and youth behavior in school and so. Kingsley, you remember I told you there should be strict restriction in school compound where it should be fence. When school is over, all youths have to leave the compound unless you have something going, or if there's a yard where you have a little sporting event going on, or if there's some lesson being taught at that time and you've got to participate in it. Yes. Why I'm saying this is that a particular school, they're over, the youth of them is sticking around and be there till in the night. I'm speaking of the Emmanuel School in Artley Hall area there, Edinburgh, whatever they call it, Edinburgh, somewhere there. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, I think it's in Edinburgh, they term that area. I was speaking, and I know a lot of people be shocked. How could you have a school closes where youth man of them staying around on the compound, smoking weed, right? Or herb, ganja, whatever. And they are giving trouble and have nothing doing and damaging the property, stealing things out the tuck shop and all these things. You believe that I spoke to two. I met the two watchman and our security brethren. It have one. I don't want to call people by nickname, but people know him as cripple or something. He have a little finny hand. Mm-hmm. That man was beaten, walking over the beaten by youths that goes to the school. That he said, I had a hard discussion with them. Both of them, eventually, I got two of them. The one is walking previously and the same brethren before. He was beaten up by these youths. The youths got go in school. When he break the tuck shop, he got to pay. Because they're accusing him, which is not him. They break in the tuck shop, they damaging the building and so on, right? Because he explained everything to me. They beat him up real bad. He called the police, nothing transpired. The other man, he's walking now, but he said they're ramping with him. But what the other guys that got beat told me is that if you're not from the area, them you dealing harsh with you. But if you're from there, they're ramping you because they gonna know you. And it's time enough. The man tell me the whole heap and discipline thing goes on in that school. And it need to stop. They need to investigate it. And how could you have youth staying in a compound all hour in the night? And they go in school there. They should be able to vacate the place and leave. And not giving no security or watchman trouble. It's the weirdest thing I couldn't really, digest this thing. I had to ask the man over and over, Kingsley. Man say, Bongo Shaka, listen, you talk to Kingsley the other, I listen, you good, and I'm glad I see you, I want to put this thing to you, This foolishness got to stop, man. When you sing it and you smoking, I see a man showing there you smoking weed and car, that's stupidness, man. I expel you or you ought to put you in the dad for a month. Let you lost some discipline. I wouldn't even send you back, Kingsley, I steep with discipline,
Yeah.
I discipline you. When you go in your home, do like what they does in the United States. I put you in an institution. The only thing we have is the boys and so to curtail your freedom of movement and so on and discipline you. So be it. I want to change your discipline in your mind. Okay, I have the measures in place to do it. Man, things are amazing, man. What's wrong with these youths these days? Oh, we never used to behave so we never had all these things. sophisticated things around us. It's just to be humble. Why you doing that to a watchman?
Well,
and I feel sorry with the brethren.
Well, those
But
are good questions you're asking, but we don't know what is responsible for some of the behavior we've seen. But I'm pointing it out to some poor parenting by persons who are parents and who
that's true.
who tell the children when they go to school, when the teacher do something, come home and tell me and we go deal with it. No, I'm not supporting that at all. I'm not supporting that at all. People have to
It
understand.
need tough discipline and tough love.
Yes.
That's what it need. Ain't a friend thing when come and teaching you discipline and principle and respect and manners. You hear me, Martley, one time the other day, she was reinforcing that in Barbados. The children must have manners. You teach your children manners. Some children don't have manners. They come to meet you there, they will say, hey, hello, good day, good morning, nothing. You go tell them, why you see elders say, why you don't excuse me, say good morning? What, you my daddy, you my father, or something. You know, all these ignorance. So
Yes.
you have to correct my youth. So, man, just continue with what you're doing and in your best ability, King.
Yes,
you
man.
know, it's amazing what chance find here with our youth these days.
Yeah, thank you, Bungo Shaka. Have a great day. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And,
Right.
yeah, and give thanks and take care of yourself,
Yeah.
Kingsley, as you
Yeah.
and your health. And yeah, bless up yourself, eh?
Yeah, 4579997. So we were before Bungo Shaka call, we were speaking about the issue of Stephen Joachim as the new chairperson of the National Insurance Services. We seem to have another caller. Good morning.
Morning, Kingsley. You remember the tell when your name was called, it look like he forget it's something very important.
Oh, Mr. Glasgow.
Yeah,
okay.
you can't remind him, give me?
Yeah, I go call. I take it on your number one time, so when I call him, I will give it to him so he can call you, okay?
Yeah,
Right,
okay,
so
okay.
when I leave it, 12 o'clock, I'll do that for you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah.
All right, Kingsley.
Okay, 4579997. We have a WhatsApp. Seem to be interested. If it's not interested, just straight any baby. Yeah. Because what is red can be taken back. We see that another caller. Good morning.
Kingsley.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year to you. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I got everything one time. But happy New Year greetings. Yeah.
When Shaka saying about some them youths today, it's true, no, Kingsley. Kingsley, I didn't walk in from work yesterday, some day back here. I see some youth man stop it. One might be farm 2 or farm 3. Kingsley, I see some youth man open their bag and it's really a youth man bag.
You think that a weed thing if you marijuana is saying? But I honestly speaking don't like the atmosphere that was generating. We seem to be generating where I see people at the Argyle International Airport smoking weed. Tell me about the game, the last piece of weed before they go for the plane. I mean, ain't supporting it at all. Me ain't supporting that.
I know if the kind of the weed now, we don't make it now. Because the man walking on smoking weed on your face. I say, youth man, stop.
Yeah, they go soon go by the Century at the Central Police Station and light up the chalice and say, let me bomb from Babylon, fire from Babylon. Yeah? Seriously.
I stop behind the youth man and he want to say, I want to buy them rappers buy for smoke, wrap the weed in.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, and I see 2 youth man open the bag. And I say, wait, is weed the man carrying school in the bag? The man is on the man bag. Because the man got a whole plastic bag of weed.
Yeah. They say they're tolerating a exposure for you to smoke, but me ain't supported that at all. If you feel like you want to smoke grass, go up in here, go smoke your grass.
I see it in school them carrying weed.
Yeah.
I said, nah, they buy other shit me. I said, Lord of mercy, what's this world coming to, Jeb?
Yes, man.
Youth man, when I was small, I couldn't do them things that the youth man doing now.
When I was small, right, I used to wonder what smoking weed like. So what I do? I get me the cement paper and make a cigarette. Up on me head, say out to me. You imagine that? I don't know why it is. I'm here to say must inhale it hard and let it out. Well, boy, you think they knock me head off my shoulder. And my head is not out, my head bigger. Yes.
I don't know what. I don't know. Please have a good day, brother.
Okay, thanks for calling. We see another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. or he just called to say good morning. How important it is. I feel so special if somebody just called to say good morning. Yeah, so the time is 7 minutes on the grading is 25 minutes, 30 seconds on to 12 o'clock. Don't forget, we finished at 12, 45, 799, 97 to be a pass. So I was speaking this morning about Stephen Joking, now assume the chairman of the National Insurance. And I heard my friend Frank De Silva and a couple of people making some cry baby attitude about him. And they gave him the impression that, well, let me make it totally clear. I am an admirer of Stephen Jokins. I respect his professionalism. I think that he's a highly qualified person. But people saying because of the vaccine band-aid, which was carried out by the former Minister of Health, Jimmy Prince, and former Prime Minister, Ralph Gonsalves, that they find that it was hard on persons who lost their job or deemed losing a job because they didn't decide to take the vaccine. And Stephen Jokins was one of the persons who were articulating that employees should have taken the vaccine and made some comments that, and now they're saying that they are surprised that Stephen Jokins is now the office holder of the chairperson of the National Insurance Services. But it is what it is, and I'm trying to make sure that I avoid, there's a group of people, I keep telling them that, there's a group of people that they call themselves Jews, I told you so. So I'm trying to avoid him being confronted by them. So even though I have a particular thought on Stephen Jokins, I will not voice it on the radio because I don't want to offend certain people and give them the green light to go and call Jews and say, Jews, I told you so. So I'm always reminding myself I have to be careful. We seem to have a caller, so we go to the caller and hear what they have to say. Special good morning to you.
Look up on nice radio, man. When you come up on nice radio.
When Jews fire me. I mean, I so good that somebody want to give me. Do you have WhatsApp me?
A comment somebody sent before. They said if you have been to the food court at Joshua Center, the food kiosks at the area are sitting next to each other. They think there are 4 and they are situated on the side of the building near the parking lot.
Okay, well, that is information I have to go and find out. Good morning.
Yeah, can you just call you back to tell you something? When they're talking about Stephen Jokins there, the Prime Minister now they say he take the vaccine and he been telling them, he and the been telling them that the people don't take any.
You believe that the former Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves took the vaccine when he said he did?
Yeah.
You believe him?
I take 3 doses.
Oh, you took it. So because you take it, you believe that Ralph Gonsalves
I believe you take it. I believe because you know why?
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't take that vaccine, people that come out and say lying from the hospital.
Well,
you don't know how his life goes already in this country here.
Yeah, well, he said he took them. I am not in a position to say that he didn't, but
I believe.
Well, let's just use your technical question. I don't believe.
You don't believe?
No.
But you believe on Friday they take them?
No. I don't believe Friday they take them.
Kingsley, you know what surprised me too? When one Prime Minister them removing the people them who selling it on the street there. Right? They can them telling them don't move. And now Monday them be for move, but me see them moving them yet.
Well, everything ain't ready to happen the way it should, and I believe that the Minister of National Security will deal with the issue of vendoring and make sure that they go where they are to. But they only have 2 months in office and I'll give them some time, okay?
But yes, but then if you know you ain't going to do something now, why talk about it?
Well, tell you what you want to hear.
Well, me ain't going to want to hear what you ain't going to do, you know, Kingsley. Me a quite a don't see it, man, you know, but me too smart for that.
I hear you.
If you ain't going to tell me something and then me know you ain't going to do it and then me going to shout out, yeah. It's time for them people move, Kingsley. Because the place would be too dirty, man.
Well, I agree that something needs to be done about the uniform look of the vendoring and where the vendoring
And
is.
then they telling you what? If them, some of them telling you, if them be replacing the house sanitation workers come like Vin like and the nose, if them, you know that? Them have them a sanitation, whether it's street dirty, yes, you have them, have to have them there.
You have to have them there. I agree with you.
Have to have them there.
Yes.
Them come like Vin like and water out and the nurses and the doctors them.
Yeah, essential services.
You don't wait until the thing happens, forget them.
Yes. Okay then, sir.
So that's the whole collision of that one.
Okay, all right. We take them thoughts.
Okay, Kingsley.
Okay, Mr. Wynn, thanks for calling. 4579997. Don't forget, we leave here at 5 minutes on to 12. That's the only time you have to call. And you can send your WhatsApp or your thoughts at 4579997. So people were saying, because I don't know how they come to the conclusion that Mr. Joachim is anti-worker. This man worked for a big company in Musty. How you think a substantial company like Musty company will employ an anti-worker? But when you're strict and you don't compromise your position, and while Frank Disable might have a position and his thoughts, Dr. Friday and the members of the NDP have to consider who is the best person or the best person to sit as the chairperson. I never had a problem with Mr. Bowman, but, you often wonder why politics is what it is. Because I don't hear anybody to complain about Mr. Bowman. I didn't even remember Mr. Bowman was the chairperson until I heard he was replaced by Stephen Joachims. That will tell you how high a level of impartiality that Mr. Bowman brings to the office. But you're hearing a lot of people who supporting the NDP now saying, oh, we need to see all, if not every single person's on board and directors be removed. Really? You think we will get anywhere like that to remove all those persons? There are some people, I know they have about 3 persons who sat on the airport board at Aga. It's still there. If I support the government maintaining them, yeah, because I think that they are professional and they will understand the importance of the impartiality they have to bring to the office. And I know that when you have a political party in office, you have to have persons who will amplify your policies and put them in place to the benefit of the people, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so that we could benefit. But to just remove people remove them because they are supporters of the NDP or supporters of the ULP, I think we're going past that now. And I think I can demonstrate that recently. Not because it may have somebody on a board of directors who perceive by Vincent that they are ULP, that they will just remove them as quick as you want them to. They have to pay attention to the function, scrutinize them, and see if they are doing what is expected of them. Well, somebody asked me a while ago, what do I think of Rodney Small? Well, he's a good panelist. He organizes Feel and Glitter, and people give the impression that the last carnival and the chairperson that he does well. That is their opinion, but if I had my way, I would have changed him. But I'm not going to tell you why I want him changed. But if the authorities think that he should remain there, they have to decide that. And somebody asking me now, so what's your thought on Luther? Well, here will come to my mind when you ask me that. They say yellow is the code. And besides NDP amplifying yellow, the most yellow I ever see surface in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they had a mock funeral in St. Vincent. And I remember two persons who had position of influence sat on those boards are now out because of the perception that yellow is not the code, red is the code. For that, I feel they should do what they continue to do right now. Because, it's really strange that when people are in an office and they support a political party, they think they have the exclusive right to determine or to influence you with their position. But like I said earlier, they have to remember the watchword is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you have to try to put that above everything else when you are in a position of influence. Because I know it have people who sat or overseas and overseas mission and think that they deserve to continue. But when you serve, did you serve your country with integrity? I mean, some people who listen will say, Kingsley, when Dr. Gonsalves was Prime Minister, he was not easily fooled, he was not easily influenced. But you got very few people in St. Vincent and Grenadines who made an impact on Ralph Gonsalves when he was Prime Minister, and not because they were genuflecting to him, because they know what was expected of them, and they do what was expected of them. But the majority of persons who serve, when Dr. Gonsalves said jump, they ask him how high. And when he call them and tell them, I'm expecting this to be done, they never say, well, why? How you come to that conclusion? And today, that is why we're having so much hostility coming from the NDP and European supporters about persons who sit on the board of directors in Statutory Corporation in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And we need to see that change. Like I say, Ron is small for me. I know his mother. He looks like a very disciplined person. He comes over that way. But when I heard him sat on several agencies, I heard him speak on an issue of crime. I asked myself, what sort of level of influence he had on crime? Why the authority decided to let him sit there? Is it because he's a good pan man, that is why he became the CEO of what he's currently serving, or because he has the ability to demonstrate what he did last day? But persons who serve, right, you always hear them saying, everybody who you hear making appeal to serve or making some sort of presentation to political parties, they have a hidden and a personal agenda. And when they can't get it their way, they cry like cry baby and making all kind of hue and cry and say things ain't happening in the way they are to. But in closing, I heard earlier that the elected parliamentarian, Mr. Cupid, will be having some sort of town hall meeting in the Daphne Gumi area on Saturday or Sunday. Well, as somebody who grew up in Fountain, I am going to make myself available to attend that meeting because I would like to hear what are some of the complaints people are facing, what are some of the complaints that they think that the former elected parliamentarian Curtis Singh didn't address, and hoping that Shakeup Cupid will address them. I'm going to pay close attention to all the individual persons, see if I can recognize the politics of some of them before I come to a conclusion to the end of that town hall meeting. Well, you have to give him a chance. As I say, he's a young fellow. And William Curtis by 1,000 votes in the last election. It was a comprehensive defeat for Curtis. Somebody asked me recently what I'm still thinking about, well, if I was disappointed, of course I was disappointed. I knew Curtis King all my life, and I thought that somebody who grew up in the top bit of the area would have been hard. Like, I was also disappointed in Jimmy Prince losing and Mr. Brewster. But I came to a conclusion that those persons who came out and voted the way they vote had a referendum on Ralph Gonsalves. They had a thing saying too long in that they want a change, and to get rid of the change, they say he had to beat the head, and they came out and vote overwhelmingly for the constituency representative, and it amplified where Bata Gonsalves became the only person who was successful in winning the last general election. And do you think, Kingsley, that this country will benefit if he stays on as opposition leader? Of course, I'm expecting Ralph Gonsalves to do an extremely good job as opposition leader. I'm hoping that there will be a level. Good morning. You're our last caller.
Kingsley.
Hey.
Good afternoon. It have a road in Billy to go right by the Spardy. It have a man have a house with all the water running in the road. Mashing up the road. Look how many years they're fixing that road, that house. Every walk from the roof of the house. And all the water is just the entrance to go down into the spa itself.
Yeah.
And you see that piece of road from the bridge coming up? Oh my God, that house doesn't running all the water in the road and mashing up the road.
Yeah, well, I know the roof of the house you're talking about. I know the person name, I'm going to call his name, but I would try to Shakeup, and like I used to, when I was a little boy, I used to free to come across see.
Above the same drive where the gutter block up and all to above the spark gap.
Yes.
The gutter block coming down and it won't clean it. Otherwise the road will be always mashing up.
Yes, but I would take that into consideration and remind Cupid that he has to pay some attention to that.
Fix
okay?
that.
Yes, okay.
I will.
All right, well, thank you. 7 minutes, 30 seconds.
To add to that, somebody said the road at the Farmer Stone Mill, now CWSA, needs repair.
Well, if you see that road, when I reach there, I'll have to stop, put the vehicle in first gear, and let take your own time and go through. The road as bad as a grater. So I know that portion, that area is terrible. And going into where we live in and where Mr. and Mrs. Wright live in, that road is terrible. So we have to remind Mr. Cupid that we also voted in the last election. Whether we voted for the NDP or the ULP, we voted. So we want to make sure that that road is measurable. It's time for me to say bye-bye. See you next week, Thursday. I'm hoping to make an impression on a particular person, and we will see if it manifests itself during the course of next month in terms of the time we spend here, because we can't get the essence of the program from 11 until 12. So we're hoping that we will see persons who share in their life and insisting that we probably start at 10. So you want to speak on it? Hello, good morning. Okay, the persons people. So here, you take care of yourself, and I'll probably see you next week, Thursday, okay? All right.